Hello and welcome back to a very full edition of the Spartan Sports Zone. Today we'll look back at NSU's second straight MEAC win, although this one was a little closer than what the Spartans would have liked.
We'll also look back at volleyball's lone match last week, and much like football, it also turned out to be a much tighter battle at the end than what they were expecting.
And finally, we'll check in on how the tennis and cross-country teams did as they were on the road last week. The Spartan Sports Zone begins right now.
Hello Spartan fans, this is the Spartan Sports Zone and I'm Ross Gordon, the play-by-play voice of the Spartans, joined by Mike Bello, Assistant Sports Information Director, and Chandrea Lee of the Sports Information Department. Glad you could join us this week, and we begin as NSU football look to start off 2-0 in the MEAC. After last week's victory over Morgan State, the first of the season for NSU, the Spartans returned home for the third time this season to take on the upstart Savannah State Tigers. Let's get right to the action as on the first drive offensively for the Tigers, quarterback Antonio Bostic gets picked off by Colin Frazier, his first of the season, to give the NSU Spartans the football at the 49-yard line. It was more defense at the end of the first quarter for Coach Pete Adrian as a long drive for Savannah took the Tigers down to the Spartans' 4-yard line. On a first and goal, Sheldon Barnes had a lane to the end zone, but the ball was stripped and recovered all by strong safety Keenan Lambert to stall the drive and keep the game scoreless going into the second quarter. In the second, good field position set up the first points of the game as John Barron capped off a 7-play, 24-yard drive with a 26-yard field goal with 12:46 left in the first half. After another stalled drive for the Spartans, the first touchdown came on the next drive for Savannah State as Bostic threw the first of his 3 touchdowns, this one to Jeremy Moore from 37 yards out to put the Tigers up by 9. NSU finished the first half with 2 quality drives. First, Deuce Finch on 4th and 1 got around the corner for a gain of 26 yards to get into Savannah State territory. Finch rushed for 45 yards on the drive, which ended in a Cameron Maroof 32-yard field goal. After 3 and out for Savannah, the NSU passing game got going as Tyler Clark hooked up with Jerron Stokes for 15 yards and a first down. That was followed by a 16-yard run from Finch, and on first and goal at the Savannah State 3-yard line with 7 seconds left in the half, Clark found Lyndon Trail for the second straight week for a score to tie the game with 1 second left in the first half. The extra point made it a 1-point ball game going into the locker room. For a team player like Trail, playing on offense and defense is all the same to him.
Well, I feel like it's kind of awkward to see an outside linebacker to go out there, receiver, and go up for a jump ball or whatnot. And my teammates really get excited when I go out there and I score. On my part, I just feel like I'm just doing what I got to do for my team, and I'm just glad that they put me in a position to come through and help them out and get this win.
The second half saw NSU come out blazing on offense again as Clark found DeAndre Sangster on back-to-back plays to set up the Spartans at the Tigers' 2-yard line. Sangster ended the day with a career-high 93 yards receiving. Clark then plunged it in from 2 yards out to put NSU up 17-9. Again, the NSU defense made another huge play as Troy Hughes, who had a big second half, forced a fumble from Moore to give NSU the ball back. Norfolk State stalled at Savannah State, took advantage as the second TD pass from Bostic went to Edward Lackey to cut the Spartan lead to 17-15. That takes us to an exciting fourth quarter, which started with a 1st down and 10 for the Tigers. Bostic got his pass tipped at the line of scrimmage and picked off by Hughes to give NSU the ball at the Tiger 12-yard line. One play later, it's Deuce Finch rumbling in from 12 yards out to put NSU up 23-15. Savannah would tack on a field goal after a 3 and out by both teams, which set up an amazing finish to the ball game. With 5:32 left in the fourth quarter, Bostic hit Daquan Daniels out of the backfield for a 57-yard gain to the Spartan 14-yard line. On the very next play, Bostic hit Chris Drummond for a 14-yard score to give Savannah State the lead with 5 minutes left. Savannah State went for 2, but Bostic's pass was picked off by Hughes for what ended up being a huge play later on. After Barron sent the kickoff out of bounds, giving NSU the ball at the 35-yard line, Clark hooked up with Sangster for a 28-yard gain on 3rd down to give the Spartans the ball in Savannah State territory. After Finch ran for a first down, NSU had the ball at the Savannah State 16-yard line. That set the stage for Maroof, who nailed a 33-yard attempt to put the Spartans up by 2 with 1 minute, 10 seconds left. It was a big kick for a freshman who only took over the duties the week before.
Well, it was huge. I mean, first of all, he made 2 key kicks for us in Morgan. They came in the game and made his first couple of kicks, which was very big for us like that. Fortunately, he did miss a couple kicks in there, but when it came down in the end, he put it right down the middle on the game-winning kick for us.
After a big return by Lamar Veals and a personal foul, Savannah State had a 1st and 10 with 1:02 left at the NSU 47. Bostic rushed for 19 yards on back-to-back plays to get to the ball to the Norfolk State 27. On the 1st and 10, Bostic dropped back to pass and was sacked for the 3rd time by Deion King, this one pushing Savannah State back to the Spartan 33-yard line. Barron, a freshman, came out to attempt a 49-yard field goal, but Trail just got a finger on the ball to disrupt the kick with 2 seconds left to preserve the victory. Trail credited that tip of the ball to a tip that the coaches gave him going into the play.
Well, I was cramping up, man, and Coach D turned to me yelling. He was like, I don't care what's going on with you. You're going to get your tall behind inside this game, and you're going to block this field goal for us to win. Usually we practice blocking field goals a lot or whatnot, but I usually just do my own thing. I'm not even going to lie, but, something told me, listen to your coach is a critical situation. I went in there. He told me to line up right over the right guard where the ball should have its flight, and I lined up. I timed my jump perfectly, and the second I felt the ball hit my hand, man, I just knew I was ecstatic, man. It was a great feeling.
Trail ended up with 10 tackles on the day with 1.5 tackles for loss, 1 sack, 2 pass breakups, that block kick, and 1 quarterback hurry and a touchdown reception. Finch ended the day with 134 yards rushing on 23 carries, while Clark went 16 of 28 for 163 yards. For Savannah State, Bostic led the way going 24-40 for 337 yards with 3 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Later on in the show, we'll preview the Delaware State Hornets, the Spartans' next opponent, this Saturday.
NSU volleyball got a much-needed break as their only match of the week was a Thursday night home game with Morgan State. It would be a precursor of things to come for NSU athletics last week as the Spartans found themselves in a tight battle at the end. Not so much at the beginning, though, as NSU cruised through the first 2 sets, 25-15 and 25-10. The Spartans were so far ahead in the second set that head coach Brendan Duval went deep into his bench to finish off the set. The Bears got back into the match as they continuously attacked the middle of the net, for which NSU had no answer for. Morgan State tied up the match by winning the 3rd and 4th sets 25-21 and 25-15. Some big plays by senior Coralie Jurema helped NSU take the 5th set and the match 15-11. Fellow senior Goda Yankosketa had a career match with 24 kills while hitting .396. Yankosketa believes the team got complacent after that second set, and that as a senior, it was her job to step up late in the match.
I don't know what happened. Well, we just break down in the 3rd one. I think we just thought we won already. And, and I guess that was the time for me to step in as a senior.
The win over the Bears improved NSU's record to 6-11 overall and 2-1 in the MEAC, heading into Tuesday evening matchup at VCU. Later on in the show, we'll see what the Spartans need to do to come out with some wins with 2 more MEAC contests on the docket this weekend. Tennis and cross country continued their seasons, and with more on how they did, let's turn it over to Chandrea Lee.
Thanks, Mike. Both the men's and the women's cross-country teams competed at the George Mason Invitational on Saturday morning. On the women's side, junior Fiona Masai finished 2nd overall, running a time of 24 minutes and 18.6 seconds in the 6K race to help the Spartans place 3rd overall. Sophomore Faith Tummy also finished in the top 10, placing 9th overall with a time of 25 minutes and 11.2 seconds. As a team, NSU finished with 60 points. George Mason claimed the team title with 20 points, followed by UNC Wilmington, who finished with 50 points. The District of Columbia tallied 108 points to finish 4th. Freshman Sammy Kiptu led the men's team to a 4th place finish in the 8K race. Kiptu ran a time of 27 minutes and 57.7 seconds to finish 6th overall. As a team, the Spartans tallied 84 points. George Mason was first with 20 points, followed by UNC Wilmington with 57 points. American placed 3rd with 73 points. The women will run again on October 19th at the Christopher Newport Invitational, while the men will head to the NCAA pre-national meet at Indiana State on the 19th as well. Coming up after the break, we'll find out how the tennis teams did at both East Carolina and Virginia. We'll also hear from Coach Adrian about what Spartan football needs to do to slow down another good MEAC passing offense in Delaware State. And with so many great performances this week, we'll also find out who made the cut for the top 3. All that plus more coming up on the Spartan Sports Zone.
You're a Norfolk State Spartans fan. You want the world to know it, and there's only one place for you to gear up. Shop.nsuspartans.com. You'll find a great selection of Spartans items, including jerseys, t-shirts, hats, and more. Decorate your home, your office, or even your car with the best selection of Spartans gear anywhere. You'll also find great customer service, 365-day hassle-free returns, and fast shipping. So show the world you're a Spartans fan. Head to shop.nsuspartans.com.
Welcome back to the Spartan Sports Zone. The Norfolk State women's tennis team picked up a few wins at the East Carolina Invitational over the weekend. On day one, the Spartans picked up wins in doubles play as junior Yvonne Kameen and freshman Anna Popovich defeated ECU's Scarlett Watson and Vanessa Foulion 8-4 in Flight 3. Kameen and Popovich also posted an 8-4 win against North Carolina Central's Mia Romick and Tamara Jeremick. Sophomore Andrea Machiavello and junior Mafalda Lorca were also victorious in doubles play with their win over ECU's Maria Stravesova and Elizabeth Zorel in Flight 2. NSU only picked up one win in singles play on day one as Lorca posted a win against ECU's Zorel in Flight 5. On day two, the Spartans also posted a few wins in the singles competition. Popovich defeated North Carolina Central's Tamara Jeremick, while junior Crystal Scott also posted a 7-5-6-3 win against North Carolina Central's Lindsay Cover. The men's team was also in action last weekend at the University of Virginia Fall Classic. In the gold flight, junior Peter Ramstromer-Pello claimed the third-place consolation bracket with wins over Longwood's Roman Elshev and Liberty's Guillaume Sakano. Junior Igor Braga won the seventh-place bracket in the green flight, posting victories against Coastal Carolina's Rick Timmerman and Josh Record of the College of Charleston. Sophomore Robin Rithmuller was victorious against East Tennessee State's Roger Ordig in the opening round of the blue flight. Sophomore Dmitry Zamantovich won the 13th-place victory in the orange flight with wins over Old Dominion's Keon Wigeman and George Mason's James Lange. Another Spartan also claimed the 13th-place victory in the white flight as sophomore Samuel Limburger posted a win against George Mason's Chris Borden. The Spartans' lone win in doubles play came from Rithmuller and Braga in the green flight. They paired up to defeat William & Mary's Aaron Schaaf and Addison Appleby 8-2. The men's team will return to action this weekend at the Wake Forest Invitational in Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
This weekend, the Spartans will hit the road to take on the Delaware State University Hornets at Alumni Stadium at 2 p.m. The Hornets on the season are 1-4 after coming off a tough 21-7 loss to the defending MEAC champion Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. The Hornets have a very difficult schedule to start this year, losing to back-to-back national champion and the number 1 team in the country, North Dakota State, the number 4 team in the polls, Towson, and in-state rival Delaware. The lone win this season was a 2-point victory in conference play versus Savannah State. Now to dive deeper into the Delaware State University Hornets and their number 2 ranked passing offense in the MEAC, here's Chandrea Lee.
Thanks, Ross. Offensively, the Hornets are a spread team that likes to get the ball in the hands of their playmakers. Quarterback Corey Murphy leads the team, throwing for 218 yards a game and 6 touchdowns on the year. The talented receiving corps is led by Milton Williams, who averages more than 70 yards a game with 1 touchdown reception. Malik Golson is another favorite target for Murphy. Golson has a team-leading 4 touchdown receptions. On the defensive side of the ball, the Hornets are led for the second year in a row in tackles by Devin Moore. Moore has 46 tackles, and also chipping in with 41 tackles is Tarek Golston. The Hornets average 269 yards of offense per game while giving up 449 yards in this early season. Although the Hornets like to throw the ball, the Spartans will need to be disciplined facing a different type of passing offense.
Well, we can't give them up in any big plays. You know, they like to run the ball basically on first down, and after that they're trying to throw it. And they do a lot of dink and dunks again underneath and things of that nature where, they're always trying to flood a zone, bring somebody under, take somebody out. And so we got to just do that. We played pretty solid last week, and hopefully we'll come back and do the same thing.
With Murphy ranking as one of the best passers in the league, the Spartans will have their hands full this weekend if they're going to win their 3rd straight game and improve to 3-0 in conference play. You can listen to the game live on WXTG 1490 AM The Game, as well as Hot 91.1 FM. You can also follow the live stats at dsuhornets.com.
Following Tuesday's match at VCU, the Spartan volleyball team will be back on the road at Howard on Friday night. The Bison are a much improved team from a year ago, holding the MEAC's best overall record at 13-6. The Bison have picked up several big wins this year, including ones over East Carolina, George Mason, LaSalle, and Loyola, Maryland, the latter a team that beat NSU earlier this year. The Bison have several of the MEAC's top players, including hitter Catherine Broussard and setter Stephanie Schultes. The Bison also play great defense with Allison Lodds and Asate Conway, two of the top players in the conference in both digs and blocks. Howard currently sits at 2-1 in the MEAC with wins over Delaware State and UMES, as well as a 3-0 loss to Hampton. The match with NSU at Howard's Burr Gymnasium begins at 7 p.m. NSU will return home to host Delaware State on Sunday at 3 p.m. at Joseph Eccles Hall. The Hornets have dropped all three of their conference matches and own a 1-12 overall record on the season. Jasmine Jackson is the team's best player as she ranks in the top half of the MEAC with 3.50 kills per set. After having some much-needed days off last weekend, the Spartans are looking to get back on the court and continue to work on their blocking.
Yeah, I think we all feel rested. The 3 days were really necessary, and I think our blocking improved a lot. And because we take our opponent, the other teams out of system, and that helps us. And we really need to work on blocking. That's true. So I think we're gonna try to improve over this during this week. I think it's gonna be our main goal.
You can follow the action against the Hornets on Sunday with NSU's free live stats feed. Fans can also watch the game live on the Spartan Showcase video streaming for just $5.
It's now time for this week's top 3 performances. Coming in at number 3 is junior linebacker Lyndon Trail. He finished the day with 10 tackles, 2 pass breakups, and 1.5 tackles for loss and 1 sack. He also had a touchdown catch and the biggest play of the game, the field goal block to preserve the 26-24 victory over Savannah State. Our number 2 performer is senior outside hitter Goda Yankas-Skater. She finished with 24 kills and was instrumental in the Spartans topping Morgan State in 5 sets last week. She fell just 2 kills short of tying the NSU single match record. And our top performer this week is kicker Cameron Maroof. The true freshman started the year off as NSU's second-string kicker, but came in after the injury to Ryan Lee the previous week to hit a 33-yard field goal with less than 2 minutes left in the game to give NSU the lead for good over the Tigers. And that will once again do it for this week's edition of the Spartan Sports Zone. As always, we'd like to thank the Department of Video and Media Productions and Chantel Copes for all of their help.
I'm Chandrea Lee.
And I'm Mike Bello.
And I'm Ross Gordon. Thank you for tuning in and see you next week.